destiny for this period. And that destiny is we take our own destiny in our own hands and we write our own book. But at minimum, we invade and get rid of them Saudis and don't allow them to kill no more black people in Yemen. And be prepared for Palestine. That was Salahuddin Ayyub organized that whole region before he moved on Palestine. That makes sense because the Israelis are dug in and but they got a little soft too. They got mean. But you know, Israeli kids are like these kids here. They have drugs, they have all of that. They're not the kibbutz kids from 2-3 generations ago. If they was, they wouldn't be losing stuff like they do, right? You know, they depend on bombs a lot now. Okay? So Israel have atomic bombs. Okay? You can't use them. But if you're going to live liberation, you have to be able to face anything. If they have 20 and 30 million people going to Najaf and Karbala, they're going there for a reason. We have to explain to them the possible destinies that they have. This way or that way, right? And the leadership, Walayati Faqih, is in a position to do it. Those others who, if you could call leaders, right, Jim, they got to solve that, the pettiness stuff. They got to solve that. They got to suspend. If they're against the very thing that caused them to have everything they got, something was wrong. Walayati Faqih is not in Afghanistan, and nobody fights as hard and as tough as Afghans. They're not as tough, including the Iranians. They just ain't got nothing, and so what you gonna do? I ain't got nothing no way, right? You done killed everything around. Ain't nothing grows here. I don't care nothing about what you're talking. You know, you gotta get people get to that point. They've been there. What are you gonna do? And Afghan has always been the graveyard of empires. Probably never heard of Khyber Pass, 1854. The British, they broke the bad British. They busted them up. You saw what they just did to the Soviet Union? It's not the Soviet Union anymore. It's Russia. They went into the Soviet Union. And they killed 1.6 million Afghans during that period. There's been plenty more now. And they didn't break them. They just still doing what they do. They're just doing it because that's their character. If you've been to Afghanistan, it's a lot of rocks. It's I don't know how they live there because it's mostly rocks, but there's nice streams and mountains in Afghanistan and some forests. And I don't know how they live there, but they do it. Okay? That harsh environment makes them harsh.
You can see it on their face. When I went to Umrah, you could see it.
Yeah, they're just harsh. They don't know they're harsh, but they are. If you mess with them, you'll find out. Oh, they're harsh. You know, you got to remember, they killed 10% of the population. Then, Afghanistan had 16 million people. They killed 1.6 million people. With helicopters. That's a lot of people. The Russians did that. Now, we'll neutralize the Russians. You know. Oh, hey, Rusky. Why not? See, they change according to what's important to them. If you know what's important to them, you can have an ally. They can be your ally. Because you know how far they're gonna go. You're gonna know when they reach out to stab you in the back, you just be ducking to the side. Because you already know them. So that's that part of it. Okay, global realignment. A new area, a new era, a new time. We have to control our own destiny. Want to teach boss man a lesson? That's good. He needs to be taught a lesson. The way it is now, you just get meaner. You can't depend on the news. You can't depend on truth coming down through their system. The system is they're not all lies. There's some truth in it. There was a whole saying in the press about this man had 2 or 3 sons or something like that. One always told the truth, one never told the truth, and one mixed up the truth and falsehood. And they said, well, you don't worry about him. He always tells the truth. So you can take it to the bank. The other one, he's always lying. He just lies. So when anybody talks to that one, they know he's lying. It's not that he can help it or he wants to do it. The other one mixes up truth and falsehood. That's the way the press do it. That is the dangerous boy. The one that mixes up truth and falsehood. Not the one that always lies. You know, this one, he has a tag on, I am a liar. Finish. So you talk to him, you don't stay away from him. You talk to him about the weather. Oh, the weather in my area is raining. You know the sun is out because he's lying. He can't help it. He can't tell you the truth because he's a liar. He don't want to mislead you, he's just a liar. The other one, you can take it to the bank, he's going to tell you the truth. The other one is misty. Oh, there's some voids in the atmosphere and something is circulating around, and he's lying. He's telling you part of the truth, and he's telling you, and you don't know what the heck is going on. Because you asked him a question, and he told you he mixed it up. So he's dangerous. Okay, anyway. This is mainly a little personal stuff. But people, if they want to know about what I'm saying, they can just research the movement. You know, there's people still alive. What did the guy do here? What did the guy do there? And let them find out. What was happening in the 60s, 68 to 72? Did East Oakland Enterprises really exist? Was it, did all the black people that wanted to work in the neighborhood have jobs? Was more people hired by East Oakland Enterprises than the city of Oakland? Just check it out, just find out. Did I take money and wealth to Algeria? Just do your own research. What about Tanzania, the movement there later on? Black Africa. Do you take anything there? Just go and find out. About anybody from those years that had any trouble, try to find out if they had any help from anybody that nobody knows about. Just keep asking you. Maybe run up on something. Okay? From 1980 to now, 2020. This is counteroffensive time. Counteroffensive time is when we launch our own counteroffensive against what's been offending us. We mentioned Mark Bar America. Mark Bar America, a lot of people would know the name of Mark Bar America. When we talk about the daftar, that's just the office, those people down there have had a change of pace. Did anybody see in the office back there, there's a little plaque that's up against the wall or up against the table? It's for raising funds for the Bamiyan earthquake. Anybody see it back there?
I've seen it. You
Yeah.
showed it before.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you showed it before.
That was one of the turning points. Here, big turning point. Number one, we did what we could. We was the main spokesperson there. We raised national funds. But the Persians that had run off from Iran have big stores, big business. They call, for the last 30, 40 years, they've called Westwood Tarantulas. From Tehran, this is Persians. Okay. Those people, Iran is their native, they come from Iran, but they run off. But for that earthquake, they raised zillions of dollars. So I could see it in our friends. It clicked. These guys are nice. These are our friends. Those other people have been fighting against us and lying. We don't like Iran. We love America. And some of them are technically our friends, but they made a decision almost that night. Hey, man, our Iranians, if we need help, they can give us. We can trust this guy. We can't trust them. But trust them or not, they can raise millions of dollars. And the Negro that have been on our side all along, and we've caused them years of trouble, because if you would, Iranians and the white man gonna be mad. First he's mad at you because you're black and you're Muslim. That's already, but 50% of his anger comes from you support Iranians. Therefore, he didn't increase his, and that is one of his main reasons. He made 51-49, it may be 50, he may hate you 51 on the Iranian side because you have been sincere and honest. And the first thing the feds ask you when they come around to you, they ask you about Iran. You say, y'all gotta get away from here. And then the message, word get around. This nigga is with them guys. He's not one of our coons that's hustling Iranians that come back telling them. This nigga is on their side. 100%. To tell the truth, it was the answer to caliphate for us. The Sunnis, we don't refer to the Rahbar as, Ayatollah Khamenei, Imam Khamenei. That's technically, this is, okay. For us, that's our title. Okay, anyway. None of the Negroes in America are the Laity Faqih Negroes. If anybody knows any, raise their hand. If they open a center around here, those Negroes is out there in the corner on the farm, somewhere it is, learning how to hate Sunnis. That's what they're teaching them. That's what they teach them today. That they have classes, that's what they're teaching them out there. They're not teaching them that you have a responsibility. Valayati Faqih, I have heard none of it. I have big lecture down in Texas, 2 or 3 of them. I actually told all the people at the lecture, I said, I have never seen an American Negro that supports, that's serious about what we're talking about here. That probably made them uncomfortable because they got rid of me and they kept them. It's okay. That's the way it goes. One thing you can't be is when you're getting into this stuff, you can't be no fraidy cat. You know, you have to be able to, I mean, this is difficult. Nobody wants to be technically by themselves. They want to be a part of a tribe, a country, a nation, or family. But you have to be able to, if you get lucky, that you could look at all of them and say, hey, there's a day of judgment coming. Ain't nobody gonna be there but me on judgment. There's gonna be, everybody gonna be judged. But ain't nobody else gonna be in my judgment. And the other thing is when you look in the mirror, you don't see nobody else but your own self. So you make that the nicest guy you can be. And you tell people basically you can kiss my behind. That's what it sounds like. It's not really, you would never tell people that type of thing. But you got to do what you got to do, and Allah train you to do that. Step by step by step. Till you look at it, you say, wait a minute. When something happened here, I was there by myself. When something happened there, oh, I was by myself. Oh, when we went to South America, I brought people down there after everything was set up. When we had a movement on, oh, that started from, so you get a habit. You get the habit. To other people, they do, I don't say need people, but some like people, but he don't need them. I mean, that can happen. That you can like people, but you don't need them. In order to sometimes tell the truth as it is at a critical time, this is one of the aspects of attitude that you almost have to have. Most people don't have it. Most people, it could be money, friends, family, all kind of stuff that can drift them away. But we have to deal with this. We have to heal the question of marjia. Valayati faqih. It's an unanswered question, and it's been there. We just never brought it up 30-something years ago. But it came to us right away. What are you going to do? But we had a war going on, then we had this going on, that going on. But now we have to ask the question, why? Like we told Laquan, when they come over here with Obama, we told them, some people probably remember us talking about it, we told them, hey, don't take power in Egypt. Don't take no power over there. What? We done worked all our lives for power. I said, in fact, we had books, The Power of Islam, you know. So in the old days, we was pushing for power. But there comes a time, but it's not this time, but at that time, it was a wrong time and a wrong place to take power. Because Equan took power, they blamed everything on them, right? And they killed, I don't know how many, right? Even the ex-president just died a few months back in the penitentiary. They put him in the penitentiary. He was duly elected. This General so-and-so ain't been elected by nobody. Whatever his name is. He's just another puppet, another stooge. That if it's anybody killed, it's going to be Egyptians. Not Israelis and not Americans. Okay, I don't want to hold y'all, but let's see what we can get to. We talked about greatest victory, could be your greatest defeat or lead to the greatest defeat. Okay, our great victory during this time has been the Islamic Republic. Our great victories have been Lebanon, Hezbollah, and all of those people. Those have been great strategic victories. We forecast all of them as great victories, and that's what they've been. Okay, but now we at a different time. To be able to evolve and go forward, sometimes you can't go just around things. Sometimes you have to make a quantum leap and jump over all those barriers. You have to jump over them, but you have to have the character and the vision to jump over them, because as you out there jumping over that, you don't know exactly where you're going to land. That's what the confidence. But if you know where you have been, and you know that's the way things are there, when you make that quantum leap, wherever you land, you won't be no slave, right? You won't be no servant. You won't be no handkerchief-headed. Because if you get that together to make that leap, we know some of the people who disagree with Vilayati Faqih, they got websites. You can see it all there. They got to slow that down. They got to slow that down. Because a lot of them handed them, and I'm talking about the Shia community, that handed them, and nobody, can you see anybody carrying that ball right now, I mean in the world, besides the Shia community?
Definitely not.
Okay, we got to do it. That is a reality. It ain't no like we making it up. It's not that we knew what we was looking at all the time, but they didn't. If you don't get used to it, one thing is this. It's possible for the Negro to know more about other people than they know about themselves. Constantly, right? But I mean, it's over and over and over again. Right there on this thing. No matter how far you get back, all they got to do is go and listen. If they don't believe it, over and over and over